They want you to enjoy their shit completely on their terms, and they don't want you to be able to own anything.
We can start out by talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. It's one of the most interesting news of the week.
Yeah.
What do you?
Well,
were you? Was it
no,
every?
you tell.
Was it,
You go first this time.
Okay. Well,
You
I mean,
go first.
I was wondering if it lived up to everything you thought it would be, because I kind of went back and forth if I was going to get it like pre-order for release. Not like I have a choice anymore. But yeah, I think for me, after seeing the prices of everything, I can definitely wait. I can wait for a sale, like a bundle sale or something. I don't need this for the next 1 or 2 years, I don't think, for me. I'm also not like a huge gamer anymore. I still would like it. I'm impressed with like the technology that I've seen, but like asking $80 or $90 for Mario Kart is just like a fuck you to me.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
Well, okay, so as far as did it live up, I wasn't asking much. All I wanted was a Switch that was up to today's standards as far as graphics, hardware, not using, because Nintendo kind of famously uses purposefully old hardware because it keeps the cost down and it's easier to get parts. Okay, that does help, but it also kind of, I think, hurt the Switch, because even though the Switch has killer apps, like, it's really shitty when you're just playing a Zelda game and it dips from 60 to 20 frames a second because the water glitters because the sun hits it. And you know what I mean? Or just some crazy shit like I bring this example up a lot. There's a game called Bloodstained Ritual of the Night. It's the spiritual successor to like Metroidvania games. Koji Igarashi is the guy that he was like lead producer on the Castlevania series for most of their hits. He left Konami, made his own studio, made this game. On PC, it runs perfectly. 60 FPS. It's not a graphically intensive game. This game should be able to run on an old 5 to 6 year old Apple iPhone, and it should be able to run 60 FPS. I bought it for my original Nintendo Switch thinking, oh, this will be a great game to play on the go. It runs fucking abysmally, dude. It does not run. I wish I could get a refund for it. I went ahead and beat the whole game that way, but it's like I did that and then played it on PC again. It's like, geez, dude. It's like I was playing Super Turbo Street Fighter Alpha Mega, fuck me, fuck you, everything. But my point with that being, that was because the Switch. It's also because the Switch is the original Nintendo Switch. When it came out in 2017, basically had, I think, 2014 or 2015 cell phone architecture running it, and it still did pretty fucking good for that. But with the Switch 2, all I wanted was just give me new, and then the other thing was I want it to be backwards compatible. Let's see how they did the backwards compatibility with the goddamn Nintendo. There's an interest. I spoke about this on my Twitch channel, but there's a video by a guy named Modern Vintage Gamer. It's an interesting video. He talks about the Nintendo Switch 2 backwards compatibility and stuff. Most Nintendo consoles had backwards compatibility built into it. The Wii had backwards compatibility with GameCube. The Game Boy Advance had backwards compatibility with the Game Boy, original Game Boy. Hell, they had a lot. 3DS had backwards compatibility with DS, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it did. And then so on and so forth. But with the Switch 2, because I guess it's using the newer architecture, it's like actually using pretty new parts. It's not like they're not using, Necro shit. Because of that, they can't do a one-to-one. They didn't build the Switch 2 with Switch 1 guts in it already in mind, and there's not a way to do it. it has to be like at a hardware and a software level, I guess, and it's not like right out of the box. So long story short, when you plug a game into a Switch 2, it doesn't matter if it's a Switch 1 game or a Switch 2 game, it's basically just unlocking that so you can download it to your game and play it online. You're not going to, and I could be wrong about this, is so if I go and I get Nintendo, if I go to play Jamboree with my wife tonight, Mario Party Jamboree, and I plug that in, that Jamboree from Switch 1 into my Switch 2, I will have to download it. I won't have to pay for it because I own it, but I'll have to download it. And then also, it has the thing where you can buy the upgrade to it, where now it's the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Well, to me, that seems like bullshit, because I thought I was going to get to put Tears of the Kingdom in my Switch 2, and it was going to go ahead and run 60 FPS because it's a better system. It's faster. It's like a computer. If I run Diablo 1 on a goddamn Tandy 88, it won't run, but if I run it on a new shit, it'll run better, faster, it'll load fast. So you're not letting me do that with this? That's what I wanted. That was basically why I was buying a Switch 2. Full disclosure was I didn't give a fuck about new games. I wanted to play I wanted to play all the way through a brand new campaign on Tears of the Kingdom, or even the other one, Breath of the Wild, all the way through with great graphics, no slowdown, all that, where it's not just I turn left and now my game suddenly runs way less. But now I'm going to have to pay, and they haven't disclosed that. I was going to assume $20, but I don't think who knows? It could be $30. If you buy, okay, so Tears of the Kingdom was the first $70 game for Switch. And that was when $70 was already becoming vogue, and people were like, oh fuck, now they're charging $70 for games. Well, 70 will bring it, $20 on top of 70 will bring it up to 90, which is how much a Switch 2 physical game is, which we'll fucking get to that shit. And now, so it's like, on top of the cost, which we will also get to, it's like, it was what I wanted, but I'm having to pay way more of a fucking premium for any of it than I thought. Oh, but it's a 30% bigger system, so that's cool. But from what I understand, battery life sucks dick on it. It does feel better to hold. Yeah, on Switch 2, like apparently the battery life is like abysmal compared to Switch 1. And the Switch 1 I have is the one that came out. It was like the first, it's not a redesign. They never redesigned it beyond the OLED, but it was the first, I don't know, the second run of the console, and it had like 30% or 50% improved battery life. I have that one. I don't play it off of the off of the dock often, but when I do, I mean, fuck, it lasts a long time. This is like apparently 70% less of that. And so all right, the console itself is great. It has improved a lot of things. You can finally talk to people on the internet now because they added a special button for that.
The C button.
It's the fucking cunt button. And they're putting Nintendo GameCube games on their online, which I think is pretty sweet. That's all. Wasn't even expecting that. And that's, I think, just going to be part of the expansion pack for that, which I have because I play a lot of the old shit on there. And then the screen's bigger. It's like a bigger system. I like, the dock seems better, except it's kind of weird that it's not a door now that you lay down to get to your wiring. It like completely comes off. That seems like something that people are going to lose. You know what I mean? If they don't care about taking care of their shit or whatever. But no. So but now, okay. Yeah, the price. In my estimation, and I think I told you too, I thought it would be $350. Now, I believe technically I'm right, because the Japanese version is roughly $333 US money to buy it day one in Japan. They're not under any kind of tariffs or anything because they manufacture the systems there, so there. But also, usually it doesn't come up much more. It might have been $400 over here, but now we have all these tariffs and shit going on, and I don't know if they had already had this priced before any of this bullshit was going on, but now, and then also The digital games are $80. Digital. Okay, yep. Digital. I always bought Switch games physical because Switch games physical are $10 less than digital. Now it's not only the other way around, but you're buying basically, you're paying $90 for something that's going to float in the ocean because it's nothing. It's a box that keeps another box in it that you put that box in your thing and it says your box can do something else. Mm-hmm. And then you'll never but you have to have that plugged in because it's a key. It's not a game. There's nothing running off of that besides, oh yeah, he bought this. That sucks, dude. And it's physical. So that it's like they were the last bastion of physical games.
Yeah. And so I keep getting like conflicting things where I heard it seems like Mario Kart is the $80 game. They're going to keep them pretty much at 70, but for some reason Mario Kart's 80. Is a physical version $90? I mean, you don't even need the
From
physical.
what I understand, any physical Switch 2 game is $90. And no Nintendo Switch 2 game has any actual game data on it.
Yeah. That's fucking wild.
It's just like, remember how DRM was like 20 years ago when it's like, hey, if you want to play fucking Doom, or if like, I was talking about this on my stream too. My dad had this stuff called Cubase recording software so we could record music. But the only way it would work is you had to have a USB thing plugged into it. It was like a key. It was just a bullshit fucking thing you had to eat up, you know. That's basically what this is. Because I don't know if I'm sure, I assume that once you have the game and you have it downloaded, you don't have to be on the internet to be able to play. So if I want to play Mario Kart World, as long as I have it downloaded, I should be able to play it. But for what I don't understand is, what is the point of buying it physical if it's just another process to play it digitally? If I fucking download it digitally to my system, I don't have to have anything plugged into it. I just click it there on my home screen. I'm playing it. But if I buy it physically, it's just letting me do that, and I still have to download it anyway. Now, I did research on this. Everything I'm saying, I'm pretty correct on. Like it's I don't know. It's insane to me. And then that's basically how so if you play any Switch game, you put Mario Odyssey in. It will, some games it says are backwards compatible out of the gate, but you're still going to have to download something, I believe. Or so like you put the game in and it's going to say, okay, you have to download a system update or however the fuck it's going to say you have to do it. And then you can play it. But literally the act of you putting the game card in the Switch is not, it's like NES, all your shit was right there. You was basically plugging a circuit board into another circuit board so that you could play a game. And then this is just, you plug a game in there and it's a data transfer. Now it's not even that. It's just like here's 30 numbers. Click. You know, that it's just, and it costs more. It costs that almost to me is like, someone should call the Better Business Bureau or something, because it's like, what are you fucking selling me? There's nothing to this. You're selling me $90 of plastic. Holy fuck, dude. It's just kind of, and I know it's like maybe I'm putting too much value on data, but it's like, well, that's what I was buying, because it's like back in the old days, that was how it was. It's like, here's the system, but you got to have the game to play it. And we're going to and I'm not against digital only. I liked having physical because, especially now with the way streaming services and everything's going, everything's just going up exponentially. They're starting to goddamn put software in a dishwasher so they can remotely make it stop working in 2 years, so that I have to fucking buy a new, like, people are buying older things. They're going back to physical media because they're doing too much to control how we consume it, because they want to make all their money all the fucking time. Nintendo has always been that way. Don't let them kid you. They were completely against rental practices. They do not like renting in Japan. They don't like it. Mm-hmm. Almost every game released in Japan for Nintendo, SNES, all those systems was exponentially easier over there than it was here. They made the games harder on purpose to combat renting. They didn't want you to beat the game within a rental because they wanted you to go out and buy the fucking game. So that was why you'd have a bird flying at you over a pit in certain levels in a fucking Ninja Gaiden or whatever, because like, you know, it was called artificial difficulty.
That was what I understood from Bayou Billy. Like, I remember renting that fucking game as a kid, and it like kicked me in the ass and kicked me in the balls at the same time. Like, but it's not like that in
interesting. In Japan, it's a completely different game. It's called Mad City, and it plays completely way better. It's just a way. It has multiple endings. It has all this fun, awesome shit to it. And then with so they kind of have always been anti-consumer to a point. I mean, they're just basically Japanese Disney is how they see themselves, because that's how they treat all their IPs and everything. You see how litigious they get when somebody's like, here's a fan-made upgrade of Metroid 2. No, fuck you. No, dead. Also, your family's dead. Killing them too. But I joke, but still. So you have now, they're charging you more for a physical release that does nothing. They're charging you, they're like all the costs you're eating up front. I have no doubt the system will do well, but I'm with you. I don't think anybody buys. I don't think this game, or I don't think this system is going to like necessarily sell out, especially in the United States day one, because they haven't now we don't even, it's $450 just the core system, $500 if you get the game.
Well,
right?
That's for now, because they don't have the
before
release
tariffs.
Date, because Trump had those blanket tariffs, especially in, was it Vietnam, where they get some of the parts from? So
90 something. And it's like, how much shit do we get from Vietnam? Like, God, they make a lot of stuff.
And and I think this could be $600 if, you know, they don't get the tariffs figured out. So
that's what I peg it at.
Mm-hmm. And I don't even think 450 is egregious for a Switch. Like, you know, maybe 500 would be a little too much, I think. But I think most of the price is just the games, the software. Like, they're really just pushing that boundary where, like Sony or Microsoft haven't even done that yet. And
Nope.
Nintendo usually keeps their games lower. And like you said, like, Nintendo is my Disney. That's what I grew up with, the characters I grew up with. I remember buying the first Mario Kart when it first came out at like Toys R Us. I saw it, it blew my mind, and we played that together a lot.
I was at your house the next weekend. We stayed up all fucking night drinking Surge, playing the fuck out of that game. It was amazing.
But yeah, I mean, I haven't been like, I'm not a Nintendo fanboy. I enjoy their games, they're high quality games, but this is like absolutely the most anti-consumer thing they've done with all of this. Just not having the physical games on the physical little cartridges, the pricing, like you're pricing a bunch of kids out of playing Mario Kart, you know, or the newest Mario Kart.
And usually that was what was so, like, at the very fucking least, they still tried to make sure everybody had a goddamn console. That was the one thing they didn't really try to gouge people with the prices, was where I was going with the other shit. Like they do bad, like especially in the old Nintendo games or the old Nintendo days, you had to sign a contract with Nintendo that said you can only make three games a year for our system, and we manufacture the cartridges. You have to pay us to manufacture the cartridges, and we will tell you how many cartridges we are going to produce based on how well we think your game is going to sell. That was how you made a game for Nintendo from like 1985 until I think like 1992 or some shit. And then they finally got sued into fucking oblivion. But that's why the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles NES game is made by Ultra Games. Ultra Games is just Konami, but that was how game companies got around that. They'd make subsidiary companies. So they've been doing things like that since then. Anti-piracy lockout chips, stuff like that. If you don't, I'm not saying that people should pirate their games and shit, but my point is they they want you to enjoy their shit completely on their terms, and they don't want you to be able to own anything. They don't have to. Like, okay, you don't own your cartridge. They're throwing their hat in with everybody else that's like, okay, you've owned this for 10 years, now we're gonna unplug our servers, now you have nothing. How many games have come and gone that no one can ever play ever fucking again? Friday the 13th, we'll never be able to play that game the way it's intended ever again. There's so much better games than that. And it's like Nintendo's throwing their hat in with that, because who's to say in 10 or 12 or 14 fucking years, when whatever happens, the sun collapses or whatever, you know, you don't own anything anymore besides the goddamn hardware. And even then, they could remotely brick that hardware to where it doesn't work anymore. Like,
yeah,
it's you don't own anything anymore, and Nintendo is getting really bad with that. And now I was willing to forgo that shit because you at least let me buy your console at a decent price. Fuck, a brand new regular Nintendo Switch was $300. What's an OLED? $350 or $400? Do you know? I have no idea.
I have no idea. I remember I actually pre-ordered the original, or the Switch, and Switch 1 anyway, and because, you know, it was cheap, it looked like a new product that, you know, I could take a Nintendo game. It's like a new Wii and Game Boy in one, you know. So,
yeah. And they got rid of they melded both of their great selling. That was their market. They controlled the console market. They didn't control the console market, but they controlled the handheld market. Now they melded it, which was a great idea. But now it's like, this is just, I don't know. Like, I just don't understand. Maybe I do, but, and then, okay, let's talk about the games. Mario Kart World. People are only gonna like that game because we've been playing Mario Kart 8 for fucking 12 years now. When did Mario Kart 8 come out? It came out on the Wii U, right?
Yeah.
And that came out when? Because you're the only person I ever knew that had one. It was like 2014, maybe?
Yeah, 2014.
Okay, so
11 years.
We've been playing Mario Kart 8 and with added tracks from other games now for the better part of 10 years, almost 10 years. So people are going to and it's, hey, but it's open world Mario Kart. Okay, I mean, that's cool. At least it's not you have to jam the controller up your ass and shake your butt to fucking jump or something. At least they're just inventing that way instead of like trying to make me do some convoluted extra shit. I'm glad they did that, but yeah, $80. And if that's true what you're saying, which I must have glossed over that, if that's a weird thing to do, like, okay, the rest of our games are just going to be $70, but this first game that we're selling with our console for only $50 if you buy the bundle, it's going to be $80. So your first killer app is going to be $80. Why would you do that? That's not what Nintendo would do.
I think it's because the new Mario Kart on Switch has been selling like nonstop. Like, people are still buying it now. That it's like they're gonna buy this shit no matter what. So let's just jack up the price on this one game that everyone loves. So yeah. Let's talk about the things we do like about it real quick.
I basically already did, but I could say you can go again.
Yeah, just increased screen size. What do you think about like the magnetic snap-on system and like the mouse functionality of?
I'm okay with that.
I don't know.
People are look. Here's the thing. Okay. I'm all for that, and I'll say why. If you're a fucking idiot like the people are portrayed on infomercials and shit, yeah, using two Joy-Cons as mice, if you're using them on your good goddamn coffee table with no boundary, you're not using a mouse pad, people come the fuck on. Oh, I'm gonna ruin all my shit. You're ruin your fucking Joy-Con. They're $90. No, use a Joy. It's a goddamn. You don't have a mouse pad laying at home? I've got 30 of them somewhere. You can't just buy a big one and lay it on your coffee. Oh, I shouldn't have to buy one. Well, then you don't really want to. Some shit you're just gonna have to figure out halfway, fuckface. I'm not buying that. I think that's good. I think that's actually good design. Give me Mario Paint. Give me Mario. Just give me original SNES Mario Paint. Put it on and let me fucking play Mario Paint on that. Who the fuck are you anyway? If you're this is something. I'm sorry. This is gonna be a hill I'm gonna shout from. But like, who the fuck is buying a Nintendo Switch to play like a PC shooter game competitively with two mice? Buy a PC, dog. Sorry. And plus, if you buy a Nintendo Switch, let's say you buy a Nintendo Switch 2, the bundle, and you buy probably the $90 Pro controller is going to come with it, and you buy, we'll say, another set of Joy-Cons so your kid can play or whatever. You're halfway to hell. You're like 2/3 of the way to a great gaming PC. That's what I'm saying. So the mouse functionality I think is good because you shouldn't be spending 4 hours unless you're in it. And then what are you playing? Even Civilization or something? You're not fucking doing this. You're not playing. Yeah, you can play Fortnite on there, but again, it's like you're gonna play Fortnite on Switch 2. No, get a goddamn Switch. Most people that play Fortnite competitively on PC nerf all their settings anyway, so you can see things easier. So it's like, I don't know, but for me, I think it's cool. I think the mouse functionality is honestly a get. I think that's cool. The chat bullshit, I don't care about.
Yeah,
because they've had cool ways to interact with people before, but they didn't like people being able to draw penises and shit. It's like, sorry, dude, if you can't let me be creative and not draw penises at the same time. So because that's what's gonna let people get the penises out of their system or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying I do that shit, but like, I'm not whatever, like hate speech and shit. No, but I mean, get some moderation. Yeah. I don't know, but what else was good about it?
Well, what do you think? I mean, did any of the games stick out to you? I think that Donkey Kong Bonanza looks fucking awesome. That Donkey Kong Bonanza was going to be the one. I was like, damn, like this. I like how expressive the game is. Like, holy fuck, dude! Like, this is rivaling movies almost. It's almost like an Incredible Hulk game, but with Donkey Kong. It looks fucking
but you're just
fun.
Donkey Kong, yeah. And it's like it looks like it's following the vein of like Odyssey, where it's kind of like a open world-ish again or whatever. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, but I think that's a standout. And then going back to Mario Kart World, I think it'll be an okay game. It's probably not going to be the one. If I get a Switch 2, that's not going to be the one I buy, because like I said, I was primarily buying this so that I could play my other games better. And apparently that's not going to work the way I think it was going to. That's already going to knock a year off of when I buy the game or buy the system, because I'm still getting enjoyment playing the first party games on Switch 1,
I don't know if you're into you are, I guess, the From Software sort of games.
Oh, dude, I'll buy that game. That'll be the game I buy. And here's what's going to be funny about that. I'll bet you anything that'll just be a $70 game. From Software, they don't seem like a company that'll do that. Hell, Elden Ring was $50, I think just 60 on when it came out. It might have it was 60. It was 60 when it came out on PC, and that was when games were selling for $70.
Is that's not an exclusive to Switch, is it? That
it is. Yes,
Bloodborne
it is.
Sequel? It is? Wow.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Well, they're saying it's a Bloodborne sequel. I don't know, because that's what sucks too, is Bloodborne was Sony. Yeah. I've never played that unless I get emulation. If I get that, but I'm not gonna do that. So, but I do plan to have a Switch 2. I'll fucking buy this because that looks. I love Elden Ring.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. It'll probably be a year or two before I even think about purchasing one. But if I do, I'm pretty certain that I'll probably jailbreak the fucking thing, because I can't.
Yeah.
Just knowing that you have to download the fucking games that you want to, the games you already own to it, and I don't know. It's just so anti-consumer that I don't want to spend.
And I don't know what they're going to show me that's going to be like, fuck, man. I don't know. Maybe everything I just said right now, Wes, was a lie, because they'll introduce a killer app or something. I can't even think of what that would be, unless they make Zelda All-Stars or some shit where they just have completely remade from the ground up every fucking Zelda game between now and to wherever else. And then it comes out I'll pay 80 for that. Fine. Maybe then, because then I would probably consider it. But it's like, I don't care about the 3D Metroid or the first-person Metroid games. I never was into those. Not that they suck, because they're great games from what people tell me. I'm just not into them. And then some of the other shit was just like remakes of shit. Of course, okay, that's fine. I guess we're getting like sequels to some game properties that haven't existed for a while, so that's cool. Like, I want everybody to have a good time. That's the thing. I'm not worried about. Oh, excuse me. I'm not worried about like. There only has to. I want to. If there's a game for you on here, cool. But I'm like everyone else. The cost. Here's something to consider. What was it? I think 2011 when Nintendo 3DS came out. Do you remember what that cost when it first came out? Do you remember about that system? The kerfuffle around that? The Nintendo 3DS.
No, I don't really remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
In 2011, Nintendo released the Nintendo 3DS. It cost $250 at release, which was like $100 and maybe some change more than any handheld they'd ever released. Now, I think it was like 8 months after that, they lowered the price. They lowered the price to like 180 or some shit. A pretty significant price drop in under a year because it wasn't selling, because no one was going to buy it. Now, hopefully, something similar happens here. And what they did when that happened was, if you bought it at full price, they gave you like 30 free games. They were all old games from all their old systems and shit, but they were all free. And that was, some of those games you could only get on the 3DS architecture if you were, they called it the ambassador program. So you had to be an ambassador to have some of those games. But yeah, I think it was like $250 for that thing. But my point being, if this comes out and it's $600 and it doesn't sell well, excuse me, they're going to eat some cost, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then we'll be able to get it at the price that it should be, or they'll release a bundle where it's the bundle's $450 and you get 2 games with it now. You know, it's not going to, it may not be like a price drop like that. It'll be like one of those hidden price drops, you know, where it's like, well, you're getting more value now. So they did lower the cost, but you're going to have to buy these 2 games with it, you know?
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's so much up in the air still with like the tariffs and stuff. Like it's pretty wild. It's like the craziest game story in a long ass time.
Yeah, but it sucks because I was really excited for it, and they were showing all the cool stuff, and it was like, yeah, it's coming out June 5th. Like, fuck, that's cool. $450 and 2 of your fingers. What? Jesus, no. But I mean, yeah, so I'm not buying one at launch, especially because we know it's going to cost more. It's not going to be $450 in the US, or it's going to be, you have to buy a bundle. You have to buy the bundle with the controller. You get 2 controllers. It's like going to be one of them Best Buy bundles, or like a Sam's Club bundle, you know, where the system's in this big clamshell fucking thing with a bunch of shit stuck in it too, and a t-shirt that won't fit. Here's a medium t-shirt. No one wears medium. Girls don't even wear medium in America anymore. It fucking doesn't exist. Put sugar in every fucking thing. If there's sugar in the fucking Switch 2, that's why it's going to cost so fucking much, dude, because they've put sugar in the Switch 2 now. So playing that shit's going to make you fucking fat.
And not cane sugar
then you look
either.
at the yeah, well, you look at the texture of the controllers, it looks like fondant. So I'm just going to chew on that motherfucker. But then they get you twice because they coat everything in that nasty tasting shit so babies won't eat it. I'm not a baby, man. Let me eat the controller. Fuck, I'm playing, but still. Yeah, the Switch 2, I don't know. I think it'll be all right. The system, I'm happy. I think it's going to be a good system. If we're no cost, if someone just gave me one and I didn't have to worry about cost, and here's a free Nintendo Switch 2, here's all the games, here's all this shit, and then I had a weekend to play it, I think I would come away pretty fucking happy, honestly. I don't care. The magnetic controllers, I think, are fine. That's another thing too. Just learn how to take care of your shit. It's not that hard. I don't know why people just don't want to take care of their shit. It's like, I used to go to a used game store when I was in the military, and just the condition people would bring their used shit in, and to watch them, it's like, you know, I get nervous when I get a little bit of dust in my PC because I've had one overheat and cook. Because I was like, I didn't know, you know, they don't teach you shit like that. Like, oh, you're fucking shit. But then once I knew that, I was like, holy fuck, I gotta take care of this shit. Air dust your 360 and take care of that shit. That's why it's like that. The enemy is dust and shit like that. So, but also, it's like I almost know what I. Oh, well, here was the thing. They never showed that until the thing. It has a click. It does have there's a release button to those at the top back of the system. You know what I'm talking about? So they aren't loosely magnetized. When you click them to the system, I guess it's like in it. I just grabbed my Switch one to show, but like, so these, it's the same. They still have the releases on the back of them. Mm-hmm. They didn't, like before, people were just thinking, what, they're just going to like slap to it so then I could just break it in half like that and then they'll come. No, it's got a click to it, so I think it'll be okay.
Okay.
But I think that's all right. The fact that it's bigger is going to be way more comfortable to hold. I think that's a good thing. That's why with this Switch, I bought these Hori things, because it's like way more comfortable to hold it like this when I've got something to hold on to. And it looks like, well, actually, no. That was something too. During the video, I noticed, I thought that the Joy-Cons were going to have just a little bit of a bevel to them, but apparently they don't. It's still just flat on the back too, but still, with them being like 30% bigger or whatever, I think that'll be okay. The Nintendo Pro Controller actually looks better. I think I like it compared to the original Pro Controller, but you and I both know that thing's going to be $80. Or fuck, it could be $100, dude, because it's got the extra buttons on the back now. It's got the C button. You know, the C button's $75 because you're gonna pay us if you want to say dick words in our chat. You can't say dick, dude. That was another thing though too, like that I thought was funny, because like, okay, the camera has a camera, right? They're putting a camera in there. The goddamn bit rate on that camera, bro, was like it's like jerking around and shit. Like, did you see that? And then everyone had like a stark white background behind them for some reason, you know, like, so it's like, I'm wondering if they're hiding some jankiness, because the rest of the bit are like, it's like 15 frames a second camra.
Get the Piranha Plant one.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah. That thing's cute, but I'm not, dude. That's the thing. I want to play a Switch with people on my couch. I want to play Mario Party with people in my house. I don't care about.
That's why I say I'll jailbreak it, because I don't give a fuck about online stuff. I just want to play like local co-op stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
Online, I don't give a shit.
So. But the final word is, I'm impressed with the system itself. I'm not impressed with how Nintendo is presenting my options of buying it. And I also really think they're going to lose a lot of fucking goodwill if they don't come out with at least an explanation of some shit, or if they don't backpedal a little bit. But we all know none of that's coming. We all know what's going to happen, because Japanese people, they don't like, they're not keen on, they know what they know, and if they have to backpedal, they don't like acknowledging that they ever had to do that. They won't outright lie and say they didn't. They just like to think around that stuff. So I'm telling you, they're gonna lose a lot of like goodwill from basically, and America is where most of their games are bought, besides Japan, you know, so I don't know.
It'd be interesting,
and then,
that's for sure.
They have Street Fighter 6 on there, and it doesn't look great. Like, the characters don't even have shadows. So I don't know, but I don't know. I'm gonna be optimistic of the system itself, but I don't care about. I'm not buying it day one. I'm just gonna buy a new computer instead.
Yeah, that's the route I would go too.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so you never miss an update. If you want to support the channel and get exclusive content, check out our Patreon in the link below.